Today, we're diving into the fascinating evolution of neonatal care and how, families have become a vital resource in caring for premature babies.
That's such an important topic. So, I'm curious, how has the role of parents changed over the years in neonatal care?
Well, back in the 1980s, hospitals started to see parents not just as visitors, but as essential partners.
Yeah,
Nurses began guiding them to understand and care for their babies in the best possible way.
that's a huge shift. So, before that, what was the situation like?
Oh, it was quite different. For example, when the neonatal unit at Riggs Hospitalette opened in 1965, parents weren't allowed physical contact with their babies until they were at least a week old and weighed over 2,300
Wow.
grams. They had to watch from behind a window at set times.
That's hard to imagine now. It must have been so difficult for parents.
Absolutely. And even in the 1990s, parents could be turned away at the door if things were too busy.
Mhm.
It wasn't easy for them at all.
So, what prompted the change in perspective? Was there a specific event?
Well, gradually, neonatal units began opening up to parents. In 1985, Sunderborg Hospital opened the first mother-baby unit in the country.
Oh,
Mothers were
interesting.
admitted on the same ward as their babies, though not in the same room.
So, doctors and nurses started seeing parents as resources rather than, outsiders?
Exactly. It's like they realized parents could play a crucial role in their child's care.
Yeah.
This led to the development of NIDCAP, which is based on the idea that the child is part of the family from birth.
NIDCAP? Could you explain that a bit more?
Sure. NIDCAP stands for Newborn Individualized Developmental Care and Assessment Program. It focuses on teaching parents how to provide gentle, individualized care for their premature babies.
Right. That sounds incredibly beneficial. So, it really empowers parents?
It really does. Previously, our work was very task-oriented, but now we balance technical skills with relational care, involving families more deeply.
Mhm.
Nurses have become facilitators and specialists who support parents.
I can imagine that makes a big difference for both babies and parents. It must strengthen their bond.
Definitely. And in the 1990s, they started offering home treatment for premature babies.
Oh, really?
Parents were taught to give tube feeding so breastfeeding could be established at home.
So they trusted parents to handle such critical care at home. That's quite a leap.
Yes. The idea was that if parents could manage tube feeding in the hospital, they could do it at home too.
Right?
It proved to be a huge benefit for family bonding and parental development.
That's amazing. But don't you think there could be risks involved? What if parents felt overwhelmed?
Well, it's important to provide proper guidance and support.
Yeah.
Plus, it was, and still is, an optional program. Parents can choose what's best for them.
That's reassuring. Empowering parents while giving them choices seems key.
Exactly. And speaking of empowerment, there's a story about a mother named Birgit Nielsen. When her daughter Leah was strong enough to come out of the incubator, she realized all baby carriers were too big.
Oh, so what did she do? Did she find a solution?
She was a seamstress, so over a weekend, she created a kangaroo pouch for her baby.
Wow.
Not only did it help her, but other mothers on the ward benefited from it too.
That's such an inspiring example of parental involvement. It shows real initiative.
It really does. It's like parents bring not just care, but innovation to the table.
Yeah. So how has the approach to stimulating babies' senses changed over time? Was there a shift there too?
In the 1980s, there was a focus on stimulating the baby's senses. They even gave massages to the tiniest infants and played recordings of parents' voices through Walkmans.
Did that help with bonding, or was it too much for them?
They hoped it would help, but they later realized that too much stimulation could actually do more harm than good. So now, babies are met more gently, recognizing their sensitivity.
That makes sense. Overstimulating such delicate babies might be overwhelming.
Exactly. With programs like NIDCAP, care is tailored to each baby's unique needs. It minimizes stress and supports development.
It's incredible how far neonatal care has come by involving parents more. It really changes the dynamic.
Absolutely. And there's even an upcoming exhibition called En Sfeer Begundelse, opening in February 2024, at the Danish Nursing History Museum.
Oh, interesting.
It showcases the history and evolution of neonatal care.
That sounds like a must visit for anyone interested in this topic. It could be very educational.
Definitely. Reflecting on the past helps us appreciate the progress made.
Yeah. I have to say, though, isn't there a risk of expecting too much from parents? Some might feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities.
You have a point there. It's crucial to ensure parents receive adequate support and aren't left feeling burdened. The goal is to empower, not overwhelm.
Exactly. Finding that balance is essential for the well-being of both the baby and the parents. We need to be careful not to add pressure.
Couldn't agree more. By collaborating closely, medical staff and families can create the best environment for these little ones to thrive.
Right. Well, this has been a really enlightening conversation. I've learned so much.
It sure has. Thanks for diving into this topic with me.
My pleasure. Looking forward to our next chat.